Meeting of JCA Calicut in connection with Astra series of trainings day 4 is hereby called to order. For JCA Creed and Mission, let me invite JC Varun. Varun, can you please unmute? Varun, can you please unmute?
Can we all raise and start in the chorus?
Yes.
We believe that
JCA Creed, we believe faith in God,
that
and purpose to human life.
that the brotherhood of man transcends the sovereignty of nations, that economic justice can best be won by free men through free enterprise, that government should be applaud rather than
of men,
that Earth's great treasure lies in human
personality and its
and that
service to
service to humanity is the best work of life.
JCA Mission to provide
development opportunities that empower young people
people to create a positive change.
create positive change.
Thank you. Now let me invite JC Ashwant to welcome the gathering.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, one and all. It gives me great pleasure to invite everybody here for this training session under extraordinary circumstances. I'd like to welcome Chairman Kushal Agarwal, President of JCI Calicut, Chief Guest of the Day, Zone Vice President JCI Senator C.P. Talat, Speaker of the Day, JCI PPP Rahul, all the past presidents and members of JCI Calicut, and other alums and invited guests. Welcome, one and all.
Thank you, Ashwant. Next is Chairman's address. Chief guest of the day, the tallest leader of ZVP of JCI India Zone 21, JC Abu Talat. Speaker of the day, one of the most sought after trainers from JCI India, JCI PPP Rahul. Zone officers of various zones, other loan presidents, past presidents of JCI Calicut, and my dear JCI family members. Our chief guest for the day was the Zone Vice President of JCI India Zone 21, JC Rashid. But sadly, his mother-in-law passed away yesterday, so he couldn't join with us. So let's observe a 10-second silence prayer for the departed soul. Thank you. Gratitude to the guest of the day, Talatji, for accepting our invitation in such a short notice. And I sincerely thank Talatji once again for accepting the invitation. Now, Astra means arrow. We are organizing this program for self-development of our members, also to have a straight, sharp, and fast enhancement of knowledge to the members. So today is the day 4 series of Astra, and we are fortunate enough to have such a personality who is going to take the session today on Kurukshetra by Rahulji. Welcome, sir, once again, and thank you so much for accepting the invitation. Now, let me congratulate the training team and today's project director, JC Ashwant, for their efforts. Without delaying much, let's hear from the expert more on the topic. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining today, taking time, and I'm sure it's going to be an interesting session. Chair recognizes the presence of all past and present officers of JCI India. Thank you. Next, let me invite the Director ID of JCI Calicut, JFT Veena, to introduce the chief guest.
I'm glad and very proud to have had the opportunity to introduce this person to you. 30 years ago, born on the first day of March in an ordinary family in Tirur, he became a leader among friends and colleagues later in life. He joined JCI in 2017, a good team leader in a short span of time. As a natural inspirer, he became one of the leaders in JCI India Zone 21. This person impressed people with his track record, with his fun with people, dedication to the organization, professionalism in the work, and work for quality. He was the president of Junior Chamber International Tirur Legends and is currently the zone vice president of JCI India Zone 21. He is also a patron of the JC Foundation of JCI India and senator of Junior Chamber International. He is currently working as an administrator in the Kerala Health Department. also an MBA graduate. His life partner is Shalika Sharan, a fashion designer from Kozhikode. He's also a blessed father of 2 children, Tasha Tahani and Tanish Tahani. A person who believes that there is no religion higher than personal service and human service. A great person who strongly believes that commitment is not a word but an action. I'm proud to introduce the Vice President of Zone 21 in front of you, JCA Senator CP Abdullah.
Veena, is it over? I actually got a call. I got interrupted.
Kushal, it's over. You can now
Yes,
ask.
over to Chen.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you so much, Veena. Let me once again welcome the tallest leader and a very good friend, Talat ji. I request you to please address the gathering.
Thank you, Chairman. Good evening, all. Thank you, Chairman, for giving the wonderful opportunity for me. The Chairman, today's Chairman, my good friend, the outstanding performer of as a President, JCI Calicut, Kushal ji, the Secretary of JCI Calicut, Tejas, and BP Training, my good friend and my speechcraft mates, Sachin Kamath, and the emerging Director ID of JCI Calicut, Veena Sridevi, and today's program director, Ashwant, and the great personality, today's trainer, JCI PPP, Rahul sir, and all other dignitaries and my colleague ZBP, Rajesh Nair also here. I'm very proud and happy to able to attend this event. Actually, very unexpectedly, I'm joining here. വളരെയധികം സന്തോഷമുണ്ട് JCI കാലിക്കറ്റ് സംഘടിപ്പിക്കുന്ന അസ്ത്ര എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ഈ ട്രെയിനിങ് സീരീസിന്റെ 4ാം ദിവസമായ ഇന്ന് നിങ്ങളോടൊപ്പം അല്പസമയം സംവദിക്കാനും നിങ്ങളെല്ലാം ഒരു ഓൺലൈൻ ഒരു വെർച്വൽ പ്ലാറ്റ്ഫോമിലൂടെ ആണെങ്കിൽ പോലും നിങ്ങളെല്ലാം കാണാൻ സാധിക്കുന്നതിലുള്ള സന്തോഷം ആദ്യമേ പങ്കുവയ്ക്കാം. എനിക്കറിയാം JCI കാലിക്കറ്റ് സംഘടിപ്പിക്കുന്ന അസ്ത്ര എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ഈ ഒരു പ്രോഗ്രാം 4ാം ദിവസം ഇന്ന് പിന്നിടുമ്പോൾ ട്രെയിനിങ് രംഗത്ത് വളരെയധികം മാറ്റങ്ങൾ പ്രതീക്ഷിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് ട്രെയിനിങ് രംഗത്ത് വളരെയധികം വ്യത്യസ്തമായ പരിപാടികൾ സംഘടിപ്പിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് മുന്നേറുന്ന ഈ ഒരു പരിപാടി വളരെ അപ്രതീക്ഷിതമായിട്ടാണെങ്കിലും ഒരു ചീഫ് ഗസ്റ്റിന്റെ റോളിൽ നിങ്ങളോടൊപ്പം എത്താൻ സാധിച്ചതിലുള്ള സന്തോഷം ഒരിക്കൽ കൂടി ഞാൻ പങ്കുവയ്ക്കാം. നമുക്കറിയാം ട്രെയിനിങ് സീരീസുകളുടെ ഒരു വലിയ നിര തന്നെ ഈ ഒരു ലോക്ക്ഡൌൺ കാലത്ത് നടന്നുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുക. നാം നമ്മുടെ വാട്സപ്പുകളുടെ ഗ്രൂപ്പുകൾ, പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് JCI ഗ്രൂപ്പുകൾ ഓപ്പൺ ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ തന്നെ ഒരു ദിവസം 5 or more 5, 6, 7 ട്രെയിനിങ്ങുകളുടെ നീണ്ട നിരയുണ്ട്. അതിനകത്ത് നമ്മൾ വളരെ ചൂസ് ചെയ്തിട്ട് വളരെ സെലക്റ്റീവ് ആയിട്ട് ഏത് ട്രെയിനിങ് എന്ന് ആലോചിക്കുമ്പോൾ എൻ്റെ സുഹൃത്തുക്കളിൽ ഒരുപാട് ആളുകൾ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ നമ്മുടെ JCI സുഹൃത്തുക്കളെല്ലാം പറയുന്നതാണ് കഴിഞ്ഞ ഒരു 3-4 ദിവസമായി അസ്ത്ര വളരെ വ്യത്യസ്തമായിക്കൊണ്ട് മുന്നോട്ട് പോകുന്നു എന്നുള്ളത്. അതുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെ മറ്റുള്ള പല ട്രെയിനിങ് സീരീസുകളെയും ട്രെയിനിങ് പ്രോഗ്രാമുകളെയും മാറ്റി നിർത്തിക്കൊണ്ട് അസ്ത്രയുടെ പാർട്ടിസിപ്പൻസ് ഇത്രയധികം കൂടുന്നതും അതുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെയാണ്. ഞാൻ ഇന്നത്തെ സംസാരിക്കാം. ഇന്നത്തെ നമ്മുടെ പ്രിയങ്കരനായ ട്രെയിനർ, very inspired and the great talented trainer, JCI PPP Rahul sir. There was a lot of heard about the Rahul sir's training and more. Today's subject is Kurukshetra. I know Kurukshetra is also known as the temple of Dharma or constituency of justice. Sir, so we are expecting a description of the path of justice and during and after Corona. വളരെയധികം സന്തോഷത്തോടു കൂടി ഈ ട്രെയിനിങ്ങിന് എല്ലാവിധ ഭാവുകളും നേർന്നുകൊണ്ട് ഈ ട്രെയിനിങ്ങിന്റെ ഔപചാരികമായ ഉദ്ഘാടന കർമ്മം, ഇന്നത്തെ പരിപാടിയുടെ ഉദ്ഘാടന കർമ്മം നിർവഹിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് ഞാൻ എൻ്റെ വാക്കുകൾ പിൻവാങ്ങുന്നു. ജയ് JCI, be better. Thank you.
Thank you, Talat ji, for your kind words, and thank you once again for being with us. Now let me invite JFT Akbar Shafiq for a pleasant task.
Good evening, JCI. This gentleman joined JCI in 2010. From being the loan president for JCI Rajamudri Srimidda in 2015 to the zone president of the zone in 2018. He was a member and special invitee of Finance Committee of JCI India for 2017 to 2021. He is now appointed as a statutory advisor of JCI India and Indian JC's Charitable Trust. A leading chartered accountant in practice for 20 years now. He holds a PG in law and a PG in diploma in computer application. He is a JCI certified national trainer and a JCI author who has immense experience in training people across various portfolios for more than a decade. He was the outstanding zone president of JCI India and conferred with PPP in 2018. And he also won the JCI PPP Award of JCI in 2020. His hobbies include traveling, and he's interested in playing badminton, and he writes articles and manuals. It gives me immense pride to introduce to you all one of the most prolific trainers and influential guide, a mentor to many, and by nature a very versatile speaker. He is one of the most wanted trainer. He is JCI PPP Rahul.
Thank you, Shafiq, for your excellent introduction. Rahulji, floor is yours. Welcome you once again.
Thank you, Chairman, sir. Very good evening to all of you. Before I start off, it is one of the very excellent introductions I've seen in the recent times where people do not read out of the paper that they have in hand. So excellent, Shafiq. That's outstanding. And the chief guest of the day, Zone Vice President Talat sir. Talat sir, how well prepared you were in your speech. Friends, this is one good example from this leader that we can adopt into our own life. He was prepared to cover every member. He was prepared to cover the trainer, the guest, everybody. So this preparation is what we should learn. Now, taking off from this preparation, what I was talking about. Now, the very topic for today is before I'll tell you all why we titled it like this. When I received a call from the president, few days ago, when I received a call from the president, he said the training series is Astra. Then what could be a better title, suitable than Kurukshetra, for us all to learn, adopt into our life, and adapt to the situation, especially in this pandemic, which has shaken the world. It has come. It was not a surprise. It was not just a surprise. It was a shock to many, where people's personal lives got disturbed, their plans got shattered, their business got ruffled up, and their way of living totally changed. So from this, how do we have to take off? President sir, is my screen share visible on the screen?
Yes, sir.
Right, thank you. So a few points. Kurukshetra is from Mahabharata. Mahabharata is such a huge epic. We do not really know if it really existed. We do not know if it really happened. However, epics are not to be questioned. Whatever are the incidents, factually, statistically, they may or may not be correct. For example, if they say 1 million people were killed, what if 1 million people were killed, or 2 million, or was it only 1 lakh people who were killed? So we need not question the statistics or the occurrence or the data. What is for us to adopt from this is the various learnings from every character that Mahabharata has portrayed and covered. My dear friends, Bharata has so many characters that even in our own lives, we come across such characters, and we can relate every character to one role in Kurukshetra or from the Mahabharata. That is the reason that it is a real life learning. With this, I start off to tell you all what are all the learnings for today. This session content is going to be about balance. No, the content usually is in modules. Now, I have put it into points, not creating modules, because this is out of characters. So understand the topic. The first thing we are going to understand is about balance from Mahabharata, then honesty, then the agenda. How do we need to plan our agenda? Then respect, then the way of living an authentic life, then talking good, then having a mentor in life, then being aware of our karma. And as you can see, the first letters all put together, the acronym is Bharata. It is easy for you all to remember and understand. And what I would prefer usually in any training program is an interactive participation and not one-sided participation. So can I just check if everybody is really active or not? Can I just check? Can you just type in your name into the chat box, please, before I start off? Can you please type in your name into the chat box? Kamal, Vasu, Santosh Kumari, Siju Chembra, Sriram, Adhir, Kushal, Srinath, Arjun, Varun, Karnakar, Baburaj, Pradeep Bala, Rameshwar, Arvind, Ambika, Hari Krishna, Sai Krishna, Deepa, Chandramouli, Kalyan, Jyoti, Vinu, Sai Deepak, Gopi Kishore, Arun Prasad, Anuradha, Mohan. Right. All these names, I recognize their presence. Right. Friends, we go off to the next. This is the situation of Corona. Yes, Srivani, correct. This is the situation of this dreadful pandemic. And no doubt we are going to go into the books of history. As you know that we talk of what happened 100 years ago when there was Black Death, or 150 years ago where there was some other pandemic. And our generation, we are going to talk about our generation. Certainly, is my voice okay? Because somebody is typing voice. Okay. How
Yes,
is
sir,
my,
you're audible.
Yes, yes, sir.
all right? How is my voice now? It's good.
Good, good.
So in this pandemic situation, the biggest question is, what do we have to do? We come to a crossroad where in Robert Frost there is a poem, two roads diverged in yellow wood, and one was less trodden by, one was more trodden by, and I did not know which road to take. Finally, I have taken one, and that has made all the difference. So Robert Frost, in that poem, he says, the road not taken. The poem is the road not taken. He says, people walked in a path wherein, one road was clear, clean. It shows that people have walked along that road earlier. And there was one road which was full of thorns and, plants. And it shows that nobody walked along that road. And which road should I take? Should I be one amongst the lack of people and take the first road? Or should I make a difference and take the second road? And he says, yeah. And he says, finally, can I request the host to please mute the participant? Alpat Balaji, please mute. Yeah, thank you. So finally he takes one road and he says that has made all the difference. Still, he does not say which road he has taken. Now, such a crossroad we are in, we don't know which road to take. Should we stay calm at home or should we go handle our businesses? Alpat Balaji, please mute yourself. Thank you. So should we stay calm or should we search for something new in our life? This is what this poem was about. So friends, I had such a confused state of mind 2 days ago, where from my Guruji, I received one word of advice. That too from Mahabharata, which I want to share with you all. He said, in Mahabharata, on screen now, you will be seeing few names, okay? Can somebody type into the chat box what are those names? Can somebody type into the chat box what are those names? Who they are? Can somebody type into the chat box whose names they are? Yeah. Who are they? Who are they? There is a little resound. I think one person has turned on two microphones. Please check now. So who are those names? Prativindya, Sutasoma, Shrutakarma, Shatanika, Shrutasena, Abhimanyu. Who are all of them? Do you have any idea? Right, I'll tell you. Ghatotkacha. They are all the sons of Pandavas. Okay. They're all the sons of Pandavas. The first five people, by the time, at one point of time, Abhimanyu and Ghatotkacha, both of them fell to the ground. Fell to the ground means they left to the heavenly abode, right? When they left to the heavenly abode, then the people were shattered. Bhima's son was Ghatotkacha and Arjuna's son was Abhimanyu. So when they fell to the ground, the Pandavas were shattered. They were very agitated. At that point of time, few were very, low in their emotions, and they wanted to even call off the war. At that point of time, I request the members not to text me personally. Please, that is my request. Please check if you are texting to everyone, because it keeps popping up. Okay. Thank you for understanding. So what Lord Krishna says at that point of time, when the morale of the parents and the Pandavas is low, what he says is that, boss, they have fallen to the ground. Now it is our time to pull up our emotions and handle our emotions and do our dharma. Our dharma is to keep fighting for the rest of the lives and not really get shattered. So whoever the rest of the children, the rest of the warriors, whomever we have to salvage, and what is the dharma of war? The dharma of the war is to win the war, right? So we have to win the war and not really demotivate ourselves. That is what he says. So in this pandemic situation, taking a leaf out of those sayings from Lord Krishna, at this time of pandemic, when we are losing, if not our dear one, somebody whom we know, our acquainted people, or even sometimes, our close people who are close to us, or near and dear ones, or we have lost our business. We have lost some money in the business over the last 1 year. Still, boss, let me tell you, what Lord Krishna says, still we have to keep fighting this. We have to keep telling ourselves, we have to fight this corona and drive this out, because it is our world, not its world, right? So we have to pull up our socks and really gear up and not really get demotivated on this. This is as Lord Krishna says. So friends, it's time that we should now plan to think what we should do, especially in time of this pandemic. What we should do is what we have to think about. Okay. So I start off with the topic first is balance. What happens in the war? At the time of war, when they get into the battlefield, Arjuna, all the Pandavas, they face Kauravas, and before the start of the war, Arjuna, he lays down his bow. He lays down his bow and says, oh my God, I cannot kill my own Bhishma Pitama, I cannot kill my Guru Dron, I cannot kill other people who are all my relatives and friends. Then at that point of time, Lord Krishna, he gives this Bhagavad Gita. He preaches him. He tells him, boss, you are not at home. At home, it is different. In the war, it is different. In the battlefield, it is different. You should learn to distinguish between the home and the battlefield. In home, they are relatives. At the battlefield, they are your opponents. When you are in the battlefield, having already started the war, having already decided to wage the war, now you cannot go back on your dharma. So you have to pick up your bow and fight. Here in the battlefield, your dharma is yuddha dharma. It does not relate to emotions. It relates to facts. Friends, even in our daily life, we are confused between facts and emotions. Sometimes we tend to get away by emotions, not understanding the facts, or sometimes we are very shrewd with facts and do not consider the emotions. Now, how to bring about a balance of emotions and facts is the moot question. Now, friends, we know sometimes, we say, I'm like this. If I take up something, I'm going to do it in a very perfect way, or else, I'm not going to touch it at all, right? So you are categorizing yourself at one end or at the other end. You say you're not going to be in between, right? That's what you say. If you say, if I give my heart to someone, I'm going to do anything for them, or else, I'm going to totally keep them away. It means that if I'm going to love somebody, I'm going to love them 100%, or if I don't love them, I'm going to hate them 100%, right? This is again on one side, one corner, the other corner. If I donate to somebody, I'm going to donate it very big, nothing small, or else I'll not donate at all, which means that at 0 or 100. Most times in our life, when we do something, we become so obsessed with becoming a perfectionist, which sometimes in psychology terms, it's called obsessive compulsive disorder. What we do is we say I'm at 0, either 0 or I'm at 100. We never want to, play the game of balance. That is what Lord Krishna says, that you should learn to balance your emotions and facts. That is what he says, that you should learn to come in between and not be an extremist in your life, not on extreme ends. You should come to the middle, learn to balance facts, learn to balance emotions, 50-50 at times, 60-40 or 40-60, whichever it may be required, whichever way it is required. Then, inspired by that, Arjuna picks up the bow and goes into the war. Friends, for us also, sometimes we are sandwiched, we are sandwiched between our LOM members and at times between the seniors, right? Then sometimes we go to the extent of thinking, who is the president? I'm the president. Or who is the chairman? I'm the chairman. And we think that we can make decisions, right? We do not want to, it does not occur to us that we have to balance these people, that is the LOM members, and the seniors or the past presidents or whoever seniors are there in your chapter, right? Friends, it is for us to balance them. Even at an LGB meeting or a general body meeting, few people may be in favor of a motion, few people may be against that decision. So it is for you as a leader, be it in the position of a president or a chairman of a meeting, if you are project chairing a meeting, or any position for that matter, you should learn to balance people. This game of balancing is what will drive you forward. You cannot take one side and become the follower of one side. At one point of time in my leadership, when senior member, he asked me, which side are you going to take? For example, if there are two sides, he was generally asking me, if there are two sides, he asked me which side you are going to take. Friends, if we are going to take a side, then are we not losing our independent identity? At that point of time, I asked him, sir, is it necessary that I have to take one side? Do I have to be on this side or this side? In fact, I went to the extent of asking him, sir, are you going to be on my side or not? That's what I was asking him. A leadership means not taking any sides and balancing all the sides in your LOM, in your region, in your zone, across India also, anywhere. This is the lesson that we can learn out of the balance that, Lord Krishna gave a preaching or discourse to Arjuna. And the second one about, balance. Sometimes we get carried away by emotions. Friends, you have to rise above your problems. Now, what is rising above your problem? You know what's a quagmire? A quagmire is it's a pool wherein if you step into the pool, you're going to get sucked into that pool, right? It's a marshy place wherein you're going to get sucked into the pool. You're all with me? Anybody knows what's a quagmire? Can you please type into the chat box? Can you please type into the chat box if somebody knows what is a quagmire? Yeah, correct. In Telugu, somebody is saying it's an ubi, right? It's a quagmire. A quagmire in Hindi, it's called daldal. Okay, daldal. So when somebody is in a quagmire, he is in a quagmire, maybe quagmire of emotions, right? Or quagmire of struggle. Then what do? Do you get into that quagmire, or do you step into that quagmire and then help him? Do you go into that? What is going to happen to you? You also are going to be pulled into that pool or the quagmire, right? So what do you have to do? Ideally, it's a marshy, muddy place, correct? Ideally, what do you have to do? You should not get into that quagmire of emotions or problems or struggle or any challenge. What you should do, in fact, you should scout around the border or the peripheral. In a shallow way, you should stay touched with it, and then only throw some stick or a rope and help that person out, right? So sometimes when somebody is in a problem, right, if you also go with him, then you also get into the problem and you cannot find the solution to that problem. That is what Lord Krishna says, that you have to rise above your emotions, rise above your challenges, rise above your problems, so that you are in a state to handle the problem. Once a healer called me. She was a JC member. She called me. She asked me, sir, I am a healer. I do lots of healing. So many people come to me, and I do, and all those people whoever come to me, they go back happily and successfully. And my session to them or my healing to them is very successful. Why is it that I myself, when I'm in a problem, I can't handle it? That's what she asked me. Then I asked her one question. Madam, when you have a problem, when somebody comes to you with a problem, is their mental state above you or below you? Ideally, your mental state is above them, right? Because your mental state is above them, only then you are able to look at it at a macro level and tell them, boss, this is not what the problem is. Because most times the problem is not the problem. There is some other problem. And at a macro level only somebody can tell you, right? So I asked her, ideally, I think you are in a much balanced position, or your mental state of mind is in a much higher level. And she agreed. She said, yes, sir, absolutely. My mental state of mind is at a higher level. Then I asked her, then you were talking about your problem. Sir, I have this problem. I have this problem. I have this challenge. Is it not that my question, listen to this very carefully, friends. My question to her was, is it not that you are with your own problem? Because I am in. You're talking about you being in the problem, which means that you are not above the problem, for which reason you are unable to heal yourself, right? So friends, if you can rise above your problems, only then you can solve the problem, right? For which, how to rise above the problem, that also I'll tell you, right? It is not just about what, it is about how also. I'll tell you that also during this session. Okay. Now, what happens when they were deep into problems? Who the Pandavas, when they went to Varnavrat, Varnavrat is a place where this wax house was built. Wax house was built under the guidance of Shakuni by Duryodhan, so that he can burn the Pandavas alive in the wax house, right? So at that point of time, at Varnavrat, when Purochan, his name is Purochan. Purochan was the one who builds it. Okay, he was the official architect of Hastinapura. So when Purochan builds it, and they understand the plot of Purochan and Shakuni, all of them coming together and planning against them. When they come to know, then until then they were fighting. Until then they were fighting for land. Until then they were fighting for many things in their life with the Kauravas. At that point of time, Kunti, she sits down for a while. What does she do? She calls her children and she tells, they are all very agitated. They say, come on, let us get out of the house. It is going to be on fire now. Let us get out of this house and see that, we go and kill that Duryodhan. Then Kunti says, come on, boss, we have been running all through our life till now. I think it is time that we should let their anger or hatred subside. It is time that we should permit them to settle down for a while and not continue their hatred against us, for which we have to take a break. And from there on, what they do is, under the guidance of Kunti, they take a break, they disguise themselves, they go into Ajnatavas, they disguise themselves and go into the kingdom. And they take advantage of going into Ajnatavas or going into a shell. What does a tortoise do when it is touched? It goes into the shell, right? Similarly, they go into the shell and they stroll around the entire kingdom. They travel around the entire kingdom and understand the problems of the common. They take advantage of that situation. So sometimes, friends, when you are continuously fighting for one thing or the other in your life, you can get exhausted, and sometimes you don't even know that you're exhausted, at which point of time you should really understand that it is time that I need to take a break. Like how the Pandavas took a break at Varnavrat, traveled around the kingdom, found out the problems, and then finally came back to wage the Kurukshetra war. They came back for Indraprastha, not for the Hastinapura. They came back for their own property which they built, Indraprastha. Finally, they had to wage the war. They waged the war. So friends, remember, when you are stressed, in times of this pandemic, when we are stressed, we need to take a break. Every day, whatever you're doing, stop doing that for some time. You realize that you have to re-energize yourself, right? And friends, one of the reason for Karna's death, I'll tell you, this also relates to balance. Now, Karna was a charioteer's son. So charioteer in Hindi or Sanskrit, he's called Suta, S-U-T-A, Suta. So that is why he's called Sutputra. Okay. The Sutputra Karna, what does he do? And in the last moment, when he's just before him dying, he asks Lord Krishna, when Lord Krishna stops the entire universe, and he has a conversation with Karna. Then Karna asks him, what is it that mistake I did? In which, out of the list of innumerable mistakes that Karna did during his lifetime, one mistake what he did was, that is what Lord Krishna explains to him. He tells him, the one cause of your death was, you were loyal, no doubt you were loyal to an Adharmi. You were loyal to a Duryodhan. Okay. But still, did you take advantage of that loyalty? Your claim or your grievance is that to Sutas, that is to the charioteer and your clan and your people, you people are not supposed to learn the art of war, right? Only Kshatriyas were supposed to learn the art of war. So you people were not supposed to learn the art of war, and you had that grievance. When you were as close as you were to Duryodhana, did you see that orders were given by Dhritarashtra or Duryodhana in the kingdom, that your clan could grow and learn knowledge, skill, everything equal to Kshatriyas? You did not do that. What problem you had? You wanted to avenge somebody out of that problem. You wanted to take a revenge. You were hating Kshatriyas and Brahmins and few other people, those people who had the right to acquire knowledge. But what you didn't do was your karma. Karma means action. What you didn't do was, you did not see that Duryodhana gave orders to your Suta community, in favor of Suta community, that they could also go to a school or learn things or learn the art of war, which you did not do. So you wanted to avenge it personally. You did not balance your requirements or the grievance for your clan and clan or your community, not clan exactly, so it community. So you did not balance your requirement for the community, and you were selfish. You wanted to, you only wanted to learn the art of war, and you only went to Lord Parsuram and learned the art of war, and finally did not care for your people. What sort of a king are you when you could not, learn how to balance? So that is one reason why you have to die. This is what he tells him. So friends, in your chapter also, if you are learning something and somebody has missed something, always ensure that if you want to grow as a leader, right, then not to commit mistake in your life. See that others are also benefited from this organization. We have to learn this from Lord Krishna's words, right? Then about balance, when they go into Ajnatavas, they go into the forest. Pandavas go into the forest. When Pandavas go into the forest, Lord Krishna gives a preaching to them. He tells them, he tells Arjuna to go and do tapas for Shiva for Pashupatastra, because he knows later on he will have to use, Arjuna will have to use Pashupatastra Pashupatastra against Saindava, He knows that. And he also advises Bhim to go and seek the blessings of his elder brother Hanuman. Now, how is Hanuman elder brother? Hanuman is the elder brother because he is Vayuputra or he is Pavanputra. He is born to Lord Wind, right? This man also, Bhim also, when Kunti prays to Lord Pavan, then Lord Pavan gives Bhim to him. So in a way, having the same father, both of them having the same father, they both become brothers. They both are actually brothers, right? So Hanuman from Treta Yuga and from Dwapar Yuga, Bhim are brothers, being born to the same father. So you go and take the blessings of Hanuman, who is himself one of the most powerful people of our Lord Shiva in this world, right? So he goes and does penance for Hanuman. Hanuman comes, Hanuman appears, then Hanuman preaches him 2 words, 2 sentences, which I want to share with you. Shall I share with you? You're all, it's all going one side, I believe, right? Shall I share with you? If somebody unmutes and says yes or type into the chat box, then I'll go ahead. Yeah, please. I think you can just unmute yourself for a while and then say yes. You can say yes by unmuting yourself. Unmute is blocked. Okay. So sorry. Right. Yes. Thank you. So I'll go ahead. Then what Hanuman tells him is, Hanuman says these 2 sentences to him. That is his preaching. He tells him, Bhima, when your body is moving, around, you're traveling around, you're in a rush, then mind has to be stable. He says, when your body is moving, mind has to be stable. And when your mind is moving, it is thinking a lot, then your body has to be stable. Right? So when your body is moving, mind has to be stable. And when your mind is thinking a lot, then you have to sit down in a meditative form, in a penance form, and make your body stable so that you calm down your mind. This is what he says. Bhima follows this in the war and he wins the war. That way, whatever he does in the war, he wins the war. So friends, when somebody is putting you to pressure in an LGB meeting or in your chapter, then what you have to do is, naturally, your mind is pressurized. At that point of time, what you have to do is, you have to keep your body stable, not really, hurry here and there and then get tensed. You have to keep your mind stable. Ask them some time. I'm giving you the solution also. Ask them some time. Never respond immediately, my dear friends. Never respond immediately, right? All this, don't react, only respond, all this, you just forget all those words. They're all, the game with words. Don't play those game with words. Those words were invented by the British. We do not know what meaning is what. You forget those words, game of the words, right? Reaction, response, anything, you just put them aside and sit stable. Seek 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, half a day, 1 day, or a week of time to make one decision depending upon the situation, right? So if you want to grow as a stable leader, then stay balanced. Staying balanced means these 2, mind and body, you have to balance. You have to understand which is moving so that you can keep the other one stable. Okay. So friends, this is what mind and body being stable. And, this is one very powerful saying which you have to follow in your life. You think by shouting, by dictating, by giving instructions, by passing comments, by telling, by doing some sort of thing, you can always control. Suppose you tell your child at home, don't take this pen. Okay, put that pen there. He does not put it. Then you tell him twice, thrice. Still he does not put it. Then you shout at him. Immediately, You are tempted to shout at him and shout at him. I told you to put the pen there, put it there. Still is not putting. Then you immediately, get out of your seat and sometimes act as if you want to beat him, or sometimes really even, beat him. Right? Friends, to control the outside, you have to first control the inside. Only then, when you control the inside only, you will have a control over what is happening outside. Right? Now, how to control the inside? As I told you, that beam 1, you should be able to follow that so that you can control the inside. Okay. You're all good? Somebody says voice not audible. Why? I don't know. Is my voice clear? How is my voice? Is it clear? Few people say it is clear, few say it is not clear. I'll remove the headphone. Now is it clear? Which one is better? Shall I put the microphone, or is this good? Which one is good? So I'll use the microphone, okay? Yeah, thank you. I'll use the microphone. Now I've put my microphone in the highest audio volume. Okay, with microphone, is it clear now? It's audible now. Thank you. Thank you. So sorry for this little disturbance. So friends, never put yourself to stress. Always, first you see that you have to settle down in your life, settle down in your thought process. Lord Buddha, I am tempted to share this, though it is from Kurukshetra. When somebody goes to Lord Buddha asks them to, with a problem they go, Lord Buddha asks them to bring some water from a pond, from a lake. So they go to the lake. When they want to bring that water, they see that on one side there are buffaloes having bath, the other side people are washing clothes, the other side people are washing themselves. They're having, different things are happening around. So after 1 hour, he comes with a glass of water. Then Lord Gautam Buddha, he asks him, why are you coming? Why are you 1 hour late? I said, I'm very thirsty. Then he tells him, I was waiting there, sir. It was all muddy. The water was all muddy because everybody were there in the water washing clothes, etc. Then Lord Buddha asked him, then why did it take 1 hour? Because I had to wait for the mud to settle down so that the water is clear on the top, and then I could pick up the clear water for you to bring to you. And this is what he tells him. You already know the solution to your problem. You have come here very, in a very dull state, in a very confused state. This is what you should do. You should go back home, take 1 hour time, sit down and think, wait for all this mud and dirt in the mind to settle down so that the clear thoughts emerge out, and then you can make an effective decision. That is what Lord Buddha says. So friends, we have to learn how to balance the body and the mind. This is a game of balancing the body and the mind, my dear friends, right? And balancing various other things. Now moving on to the second point, which is honesty, right? A very, very powerful point, honesty. Now, Bhishma, what happens was, Bhishma, when he goes to Gandhar, okay, and in Gandhara, what happens is he goes there and he boasts of the power of the Kuru Vamsha, right? He also boasts of the power, the physical power and the knowledge of Dhritarashtra. Then all of them accept, and finally Gandhari also accepts. After Gandhari accepts, she finally comes to know that Dhritarashtra is blind. What happens? At which point of time she takes a decision? When my husband is not going to see the world, for me to understand my husband better, I am also not going to see the world, or else I cannot see his world, I can only see my world. So to empathize him, I have to blindfold myself also. That's what she does, and blindfolds herself. So Bhishma, in a way, he does not clearly tell them that Dhritarashtra was blind, and Gandhari's emotions towards Gandhari's emotions towards Dhritarashtra are built. She comes to know, because of which Shakuni takes a decision at that point of time, coupled with some other incidents also, which I'm not sharing currently. Shakuni, who is the brother of Gandhari, he takes a decision that these people, they cheated us, they cheated my sister, and I'm going to see that their ahamkar of the Kuru clan, or their arrogance of the Kuru clan, I put it down to mud. That is what the decision at that point of time he takes. So Shakuni's entry into the Kuru Vamsha is only and only because Bhishma did not properly handle or disclose about the fact that Dhritarashtra was blind, right? In addition to some other points also which I mentioned. So honesty can at times lead to some small situation. Dishonesty can lead to some small situation, which can, change the entire scenario, like how the entire scenario of Kurukshetra and the Kuru Vamsa was changed by Shakuni, right? And Karna, he goes to Lord Parshuram. When Karna goes to Dronacharya, asking him to teach the skills, right? Then Dronacharya disagrees and tells him, "What boss, you are a Sutaputra and I don't teach Sutputras, I only teach Kshatriyas." At which point of time Karna, he takes a vow and then goes in search of Lord Parshuram. Lord Parshuram is one incarnation of God. He is almost equal to Lord Shiva, almost equal to. He is said to be, he is an ardent follower of Lord Shiva. So when he goes to Lord Parshuram asks Karna, are you a Brahmin? Because at that point of time, Lord Parshuram, he stops teaching. He is against, these tyrannical Kshatriyas. So what he asks is, he asks Karna, are you a Brahmin? Because he teaches only Brahmins. Then Karna, he lies to him and he tells him, I am a Brahmin. And for about 12 years, then later on, Lord Parshuram teaches Karna the various arts of war. And finally, on one day, in one incident, that insect incident few may know, but leave that incident, whatever that is, he comes to know that he is not a Brahmin. Then, one segment says Lord Parshuram cursed Karna, but in fact, Lord Parshuram, what he tells Karna is, Karna, you are one of my favorite disciples. You did such a wrong thing by lying to me. But after lying to me, what you did was, you sought all the skills and knowledge from me. After lying to me, you sought all the skills and knowledge from me. If anybody lies to somebody and obtains something, it is not going to stay with them. So he feels so bad. Are Karna, you should have told me the truth, because you lied to me at right point of time. Whatever you learnt from me, you will not be able to recollect. So when Karna's Ratha gets stuck in the pool of mud, then he wants to wage the war or invoke the Brahmastra standing on the land, and he is unable to recollect the mantra for Brahmastra because he learnt that mantra by cheating his guru. So friends, never be dishonest. In your chapter also, whatever is the occurrence, just share with everybody, even if it is bad, even if it is good. Don't judge the situation and then share. Just share honestly. Now, when to share, how to share, that also I will tell you. Okay. So there is another, honesty means dharma, means Dharmaraj. He is a symbol of honesty, right? Yudhishthira. That is why he is called Dharmaraj. However, this Dharmaraj also, at one point of time, when they have to control Dronacharya, on the day of the death of Dronacharya, what they do is they push Yudhishthira forward and make him tell that his son Ashwadhama is dead. That is what it says. Yes, Ashwadhama hataha kunjaraha is the sentence. So Yudhishthira, not to lie, what he does is he tells Drona Ashwadhama hataha, and then he murmurs kunjaraha. Kunjaraha means an elephant. So he tells Ashwadhama, who died is not your son, it is an elephant. That is what he says. But he means something else, because Drona's son is dead, he is also devastated, and finally he also ends up his life in a different circumstance finally. But Yudhishthira is a symbol of honesty. That is the reason that out of all the Pancha Pandavas, Yudhishthira is the only one who is supposed to go to heaven. The rest of the 4 Pandavas, they go to hell after their death. Now, why they go to hell and heaven, that is a different story. But Yudhishthira, he goes to heaven only and only because he never lied in his life. Even once he lied, that was also half lie. Half lie can be considered either to be truth or a lie. That is why Yudhishthira is most respected. He goes to heaven. Friends, now for believers of heaven and hell, I need not explain. For non-believers of heaven and hell, it means that when a child is born to a mother, the child has the mother in her hands, right? And she's extremely happy. She's in a very blissful state, in a state called beatitude, right? That state is supposed to be heavenly state. And when somebody is sad on the death of somebody, it is supposed to be like hell because we can't handle it. Actually, heaven is equal to happiness and hell is equal to sorrow. Okay, for non-believers. So always, if you are honest, you can always be happy because you need not lie to cover up another lie, right? So be honest. So in your chapter also, be honest. Just tell whatever happened. Even if you have done something wrong also, just tell. Okay, because honesty means talking about the truth. On the screen, you can see one image wherein somebody says this is true, somebody else says this is true, whereas the truth is different. That is why there is a saying in English that there are three truths always. It is your truth, my truth, and the truth, right? There is always your truth, my truth, and the truth. Now, how to distinguish or differentiate among your truth, my truth, and the truth? That also I will tell you. Okay, because whatever you talk, you may be thinking, am I talking the truth or my truth? That also I will tell you. Okay. Now, anybody has any questions here? Anybody has any questions? You can text into the chat box. Or can I ask the host to please, change the settings to allowing the participants to unmute them. Right. Yeah. Somebody.
Can we give a final last 5 minutes or 10 minutes at the end for questions?
Yeah, I certainly we can give, sir. Okay.
Yeah, that we can continue the session and we can give the question answers in the end.
Right, sir. Right.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. So right. And the next one, see, when I'm talking of your truth and my truth, somebody thinks it is question mark. Somebody has something else in mind, which means that there is no mind matching, right? So what is it about perceptions? So truth is different from belief. So if I say this is a pen, I cannot say this is a pen. I should say I believe this is a pen because somebody told you that this is a pen and you are continuing to believe it as a pen. And somebody says this is a mobile phone, right? You should be saying, I believe that this is a mobile phone because sun rises in the east is the truth. And this is a mobile phone is your belief, because somebody else can say this is not a mobile phone, this is a cellular phone. Somebody else may say this is a gadget, electronic gadget. Somebody else may say something else. So somebody else who is using it as a camera may say, no, this is a camera only because he is using it as a camera. Somebody uses it only for mails, he may say that this is an instrument being used for mails. So the perceptions may differ. So how we have to make a statement for your own self to understand the difference between your belief and the truth, that I'm sharing with you now. What happened? You always quote while sharing the truth or while being honest. Always remember, friends, whatever the other person told, you put it in inverted commas and in direct speech only as it is. You tell them that is the truth. If you remember what somebody said, then exact words if you repeat, that is the truth. If somebody says, I do not like that fellow, then it seems he does not like that fellow is your opinion. He said, I do not like that fellow is the truth. Okay, you're in short, in simple language, hope you're able to understand this. Then the next one, what you understood out of somebody saying, then you should start such a sentence with, in my opinion, because in my opinion, I think this is a mobile phone, rather than saying and arguing, no, this is a mobile phone, right? What you understood out of somebody's sentence, that you should say, in my opinion. Okay, this formation of sentences will help you understand the difference between the truth and your belief system. Your belief is accumulated out of the past experience only. Okay, so that is why. And your conclusion you have to state as, I believe. I believe this is a mobile phone. On a topic, in my opinion, being like this is good. So these three, if you are able to differentiate and use such sentences in life, then certainly what you speak will have authenticity and people will believe your integrity. Okay. So being honest, I'm giving these examples so that you can practice doing like this and being honest also. Okay. Now, the next point is about agenda, right? The earlier one, the first one was about balance. Second one is about honesty, and third one is about agenda. Now, friends, people whoever died in Mahabharata, all the stalwarts who died, their agenda was entirely different. Their agenda, I'll tell you what all happened to everyone. Bhishma Pratignya, all the characters you can see on screen. Bhishma Pratignya. I'll make it quickly. Everybody, please pay attention. I'll make these statements very quickly. Bhishma made a promise to his father that he would never sit on the throne, thereby enabling Satyavati's son to be seated on the throne. That is what Bhishma's pratignya was. And he also did this pratignya to his father in the bedroom of his house and told his father that I would never sit on the throne. That is what Bhishma told. Not sit on the throne, but always be helpful to the throne. That is what he told him. And because of his personal pratignya, which was his personal agenda, that personal pratignya he imposed on the kingdom, and whenever kingdom needed him, Bhishma did not attend to those issues because he had all the might and the will and the skill, knowledge, experience, everything. Being tutored by Lord Parshuram, he had all the skill and ability to stop the Kurukshetra, but he did not stop. He thought his pratignya was stopping him. His pratignya was not to go against the throne. The throne means Dhritarashtra. Whatever Dhritarashtra decision was taking, he was just abiding, basing on his personal agenda, personal promise. Bedroom promise is brought into the kingdom. That is why Kurukshetra happened. Friends, MBA first lesson, we all learn. Those who have studied MBA. Personal goals, organizational goals should never be one and the same. This is the mistake that Bhishma did. At the time of death, Lord Krishna tells him, what is this, boss? What did you do? He says, I never did any adharma. The biggest adharma you did was your personal goal, bedroom promise brought into organization. Gone. That is why you should die. Friends, don't mix your personal goal and organizational goals. In JCI life also, whatever is your POA, plan of action, which was formed in the first LGB and approved for the first general body meeting, or the approved plan of action adopted from JC India, from General Assembly JC India, that only you follow, nothing else. Your personal agenda, emotions should not come in between, right, in leadership. The second one, Karna's woe. What does Karna take a woe? Karna wants to prove his independent skills, his individual skills. So he takes a vow to kill Arjuna. Is that for the benefit of the world to kill Arjuna? Never. But still, he wanted to prove his personal skills, which caused a disaster. Because of that only, he had to take the side of Adharma, that is Duryodhana's side, and finally find the Kurukshetra. That is what Lord Krishna tells him in the end. Your personal goal you brought into this organization. He made you the king of Anga, your Angaraja. Duryodhana made you the king of Anga. So because you were made the king of Anga, because you became a king, your self-achievement, your personal achievement, what you did, your life, career, skill, everything you put at the feet of Duryodhana, who is an adharmi. That is why you have to die. So here also we learn that personal goal, organizational goal should not get mixed. And Shakuni, what does Shakuni do? Shakuni also takes a vow. He takes a vow because his own sister was cheated and finally married to Dhritarashtra. He also takes a vow that he will destroy the Kuru Vamsha, right? So personal desires always brought disaster to the organization in such situations. That is why all of them had to die, not a martyr's death, not a martyr's death. All of them had to die. They were never crowned as martyrs because they had to be killed, right? They cannot claim that I died a martyr's death. Shakuni also died like that only. And Arjuna's woe. Arjuna also, after Abhimanyu was killed in the war, then Arjuna also took a vow that he will kill Dronacharya the next day. Now, his vow and his decision is it for his personal benefit, though it is out of personal personal vengeance, still he did the dharma of the war. That is why this personal vengeance decision is not wrong. It is you can distinguish between Bhishma, Karna, Shakuni and then Arjuna, right? Arjuna's personal decision caused benefit to the war. That is why Sri Krishna tells Arjuna, what you are doing, getting agitated and getting furious about your son's death is correct. In fact, Lord Krishna plans the absence of Arjuna on the day of Chakravyuha so that Abhimanyu can get killed and thereby Arjuna can get furious and then fight war with more vigor. Okay. So your vow or your decision in life should be able to cause benefit to the general community as such, not to your own self. You should not be selfish. Okay. So, and then Arjuna, there is another vow of Gandiv, which this is something very rare. We don't get at most places. So you should learn what happens with this Gandiv. Gandiv is the bow of Arjuna. One day, Karna beats Dharmaraja or Yudhishthir very badly. So after they come back to their Shibir, then Dharmaraj, he tells Arjuna, what is this, boss? Look at my state. Karna gave me left and right today. My position is very bad today. Physically, I am very assaulted, in very bad shape. Then he tells him, why are you still holding that bow? You give that bow to somebody else. You give that bow to somebody else. You are not fit to use that bow. Out of anger, he tells him. Now, Arjuna already took a vow at some point of time. If somebody makes him put away his Gandhi, then he is going to kill them. That is the vow he takes. Okay. Arjuna takes two vows. This second vow is a bad vow. Because of his vow, now he has to kill Yudhishthir, who tells him to put his Gandhi away. Right? So he has to kill Yudhishthir. So he goes to Krishna and tells, now I have to kill my brother Yudhishthir. And then thereby this war is going to stop. Because there is no successor to the throne after that. And Duryodhan will become the next in age rightful successor. So then, seeing this critical situation, Krishna gives a solution. He tells him, if you have to, remember this, my dear friends, if you have to kill somebody, then address them in singular. If you have to kill somebody, then address them in singular. So now you go and address your brother in singular and tell him, instead of saying Dharmaraja Ji, you tell him, hey Dharmaraj, you call him like that. That is what he says. That is equal to death. And thereby he avoids Arjuna killing Yudhishthir. Okay. Then after Arjuna goes and says that, he says, now I have disrespected my brother, so I should myself be killed. He comes up with another problem now. Then Krishna has another headache now. So he is going to get himself killed and the war is going to stop. That is why he tells him, if you have to kill yourself, then there is another way out. You praise your own self. Then it is equal to death. So he makes him praise his victories and himself, thereby almost equal to death. So he makes it even. So friends, remember, if you are addressing somebody in singular without respect, then it is equal to killing them. And if you are praising your own self, I did this, I did that, I achieved this, I achieved that and all, then it is equal to killing your own self. This is the learning from Lord Krishna. Okay. So friends, when you take a vow, always remember your goal should not mix with organization goal. In organization, somebody shouts at you also in your LGB meeting, general body meeting, still maintain the balance, which I already told you, because your personal emotion should not disturb organization's going, right? Right. So bear this in mind. And then Draupadi's vow. See how much of disaster it cost Draupadi's vow. When Draupadi Vastrabharan happened and they removed her sari, then she takes a vow that I am going to drink the blood from the heart of Dushasana, right? And because she took that decision, the husbands, naturally all the Panchapandavas, had to stand by her and had to fight the war, right? See that woe, what a disaster it cost. At that point of time, If Draupadi really had the big heart to pardon them and excuse them and say, I am not going to kill any one of these people, probably things would have been different. But her personal this thing came into the organization, thereby all the kings and kingdoms, there was disaster all around. Friends, remember not to bring personal goal into organization. And Dronacharya, he goes to Drupad, King Drupad, to ask him for two cows. Then Drupad, he says, who are you? I don't know you. Then he tells him, under my father Guru Bharatwaj, we both were trained. Then he tells, if you are trained, what, are we friends? No, he tells him we were very good friends. We planned to share everything, half everything and all. He reminds him. Then this adamant Drupad, he tells him, Arey yaar, if you want, I can give you dan, but out of friendship, I'll not give you. Then he tells him, I will never take a dan, and I promise that I'll put you to my feet. And he sends the Kauravas and Pandavas and sees that Drupad is brought to his feet. So what happens? Drona, what did he do? Dronacharya, he taught the Kauravas and Pandavas, all the 105 people, he taught them only to avenge his personal self-respect that was dent, that was hurt. Only to avenge Drupad, he went and taught them. But he never, as a teacher, wanted to teach them properly. He taught them properly, no doubt. He taught them only with an intention to see that he takes as Guru Dakshina. As Guru Dakshina, these 105 people go and bring Drupad to his feet. So, can you call that Vidyadan? It cannot be called Vidyadan. There was never a dan. If there is a dan, you should not accept, you should not expect anything. But what did he do? He expected something. That is why his personal vendetta came into the organization, and thereby, there was clash and fighting, and so many people died when the Kauravas, Pandavas attacked the Drupad kingdom, right? So, friends, don't bring. And also remember, friends, at this point of time, if you are teaching somebody, always remember, in JCI, this happens more. This is more prevalent. If you are teaching somebody, seeing the growth of somebody, helping the growth of somebody, then finally you say, I am the cause for his growth. Then all your achievement is gone. Self-praising is equal to death. Remember. So if you are giving something to somebody, always forget. If give, and forget always. When you give, forget. That's all. We have to learn this from this. Okay. We move on to the next point. So, President sir, how much more time do we have? President sir?
Sir, maybe we can another 15-20 minutes. Can we close in 20 minutes?
Right, sir. 15-20 minutes, we close this. Okay.
Right, thank you.
So, the next point, thank you, sir. The next point is about respect. Now, for respect, we can take the person on the screen as one example, right? Who is on the screen? Can somebody guess? For showing respect to others. Can somebody guess? Can type into the chat box, please. Eklavya. Okay, Eklavya has that crown. Okay, Ambikachari. Rama. We are talking of Bharata. Eklavya. Okay, so this picture is misleading. Santoshi Kumari. Arjun, right? Okay, we talk of Arjuna in this. Karna. Yeah, it can be anybody because we don't know how they look like. Okay, we don't know have their photographs. So we are talking of Arjuna in this. So Arjuna, what does he do? Everything that Guru Dronacharya tells him to do, he tells him. He has so much of respect that once when Dronacharya falls into the river purposefully and creates a fake crocodile to check, he jumps into the river to save him, whereas all the other 104 people, they are on the banks only searching for their astras, ayudas and all those weapons, right? So he has so much of respect that whatever Guru Dronacharya tells him to do, he so much so that after coming back from that crocodile fiasco, he comes to Dronacharya and asks him, Dronacharya, see, after this Ekalavya, after giving away the thumb of Ekalavya, then he comes and asks him, Dronacharya, Guruji, I do not want people to think bad about you because you took away the thumb of Ekalavya. People tomorrow may say, or after generations, people may say that you were inclined towards making me the best one. That is why you took away Ekalavya's thumb. This is what they are going to blame. I don't want you to be blamed like this. That is what so much of respect that even Guru Dronacharya's decision also, he comes back and questions and says, I don't want you to be defamed because of such a situation. Why did you ever do this? So Dronacharya says it was my dharma. That is a separate story, but so much of respect he has. Then for Mother Kunti, when on innumerable occasions, when Kunti says something, especially when Arjuna and Karna, many number of times they come across each other in Hastinapura, and when they have war of words, then when Kunti says, Arjuna, you stop immediately, he would always stop. That is the respect that he had for his mother. So for his guru, he had respect. For his mother, he had lots of respect. And even in Varnavrat also, when Arjuna says, no, we have to go and fight, and Mother Kunti says, no, we should go into Ajnatavas for a few days and then only take a break and come back, then also he listens. So many such occasions. Okay. And then his mentor Krishna, whatever Krishna tells him, he respects Krishna and follows without asking, without questioning him. See, there is a difference between asking questions or inquiring and questioning. Questioning is from a higher state wherein with the I factor or the aham bhav, you ask somebody, is that right or not? Okay. So that is one level. The different one is, please tell me why this is like this. I want to learn, is another form of asking. So he asks questions, but he never questions Krishna. He never questions the integrity, decision making. Krishna does so much of cheating in Kurukshetra. Still, he never questions. He only wants to understand why he is doing that. So he always respects his mentor Krishna, and he always respects his inspiration Bhishma. Bhishma was his inspiration. Even though Bhishma was fighting on the other side, before starting the war, Arjuna walks across to the other side, takes the blessings of Bhishma, and then comes back. And Bhishma then says, Vijayi Bhava. He blesses him, Vijayi Bhava, because this respect, finally, Arjuna won the war. Arjuna could kill all these people. That is because of the blessings of Bhishma. In the war, he went to the opponent, took the blessings of the opponent, because opponent was his inspiration. Even in our organization, politically, if somebody is against also, go meet them, talk to them, sit with them, have the patience, and this is what we can learn. Then skills of Karna, he always never questioned. Karna always questioned the skill of Arjuna, but Arjuna never questioned the skills of Karna. He always used to say he is very skillful. That's all. He never compared and said he is better than me or something like that, but he always had respect for the skills of Karna. So friends, always have respect. In your LGB meeting or in your general body meeting, when somebody says something, make a promise now. Can everybody on the screen type into the chat box about this promise which I'm going to make? Can you please everybody type into the chat box that from now on, I will not start my sentence with 2 words. You just type P into the chat box, which is a promise, and I will read out what the promise is. You please type P into the chat box. Babu Raj sir, thank you. Ambika, thank you. Ram sir, thank you. Joshi Joseph, Kamal sir, thank you. 6, 7, 10, 11 people typed. What about rest of the people? Satish raised his hand. Anuradha P, thank you. Karishma Reddy, thank you. Sriram P, promise, right? So thank you everybody. So friends, from now on, you should avoid talking 2 words when somebody talks something to you. Those 2 words are no. When somebody tells you something, immediately we are tempted to say no. This is what we are tempted to say. Please, friends, please stop saying that. Respect whatever they are saying. Even if you have to disagree, tell them how I told you 3 ways of making the conversation. What you can say is, in my opinion, you can start the sentence and talk like that, right? From now on, please change your approach. If your approach, keep checking yourself, introspect. If at times you are saying you're starting a sentence with no, please stop saying that, because you already made a promise to me. And for making this promise to me, thank you all so much for having the trust. Gopi Kishore sir, Tawaz Srinivaslu sir, everybody, thank you so much. Right. So move on to the next one. Now the next one is authentic way of living. Now I'll tell you what is authentic way of living. Most times what happens is you start a sentence about complaining on others and blaming others for anything that has happened, right? Authenticity means it is a rigid way of living. Not having authenticity means it is a rigid way of living, and it is always complaining on others. So we should be authentic, which means that we should be flexible and not rigid, which means that we should not complain on others. Now, I have one point to make here. The point is that how to start a sentence. Okay, how to start a sentence about not complaining on others. Okay, so here you can see Kunti. Kunti is one of the most authentic and austere persons of the Mahabharata. Kunti is the most authentic person. Most, there is no most for authentic. Authentic itself carries everything. Good, better, best. It carries everything in itself. So when you start a sentence, how you should say is as leaders, how you should say is, if somebody does not do something, like for example, in my office, I tell Kiran, please bring this mobile, and Kiran does not bring this mobile to me. Then immediately my sentence would be, Kiran didn't bring this mobile, which is complaining and blaming. So instead of complaining and blaming, what you should do is you should start the sentence like this. Start the sentence not with Kiran. Kiran did not bring. No, don't start the sentence with Kiran. Start the sentence with I and form the sentence like this, which I'm typing into the chat box. Right? This, which I typed into the chat box, this is what should be your sentence. Even if he does not do the work, you should start the sentence with, I could not make Kiran bring the mobile, is what you should do. Then this is how, I could not bring the mobile. No. I could not make Kiran bring the mobile, Santosh. Okay, Santosh Kumar. Okay. So friends, always remember, you should not point fingers at others and say, he did not do. You should always say, I could not make him do. In your chapter also, you tell the vice president or the director or somebody to do something, they do not do. And I told the vice president, vice president did not do. Instead of that, if vice president did not do, how good are you as a leader? It reflects on you. You are unable to influence them or motivate them or make them work. Then how good a leader are you? So pointing fingers at them, incidentally, you're pointing at yourself. Consequently, you're pointing at yourself. So friends, always say, instead of saying vice president did not do, say, I could not make the vice president do. Or project chairman tells somebody to do something, get a flyer ready. He did not make the flyer ready. That member, JC so-and-so, JC XYZ, instead of saying that, I could not make JC XYZ bring the flyer or make the flyer. Right? Can I take this as a promise that you will start the sentence with, I could not make him do? Yes. If you are ready to make the promise, please type P in the chat box. Friends, this is going to change your life. That is why I am taking this promise from you. This is self-affirmation. We want this from you. Veena Sridevi, Kamal Shah, Santosh Kumari, P, Karishma Reddy. Only few people are making promises. Anuradha Saptagir Reddy, Ambikachari, Ram Chintal Madhbabu. Yeah, thank you. So rest of the people also, friends, when you type the letters, why I'm making you type is, when you type something, you are going to stand by it. When you make a promise, you are going to stand by it. That is why I'm making you do this. Okay, Chandramouli did not type. Sangeeta Chaudhary did not type. No. Right, Kunti. Kunti is one of the most austere persons and authentic persons of this. So as a mother of 5, Kunti as a mother of 5, she always balanced all the people. There was never sibling rivalry, and that is how authentic she brought up her children. Okay. And equality, always she would say, even to the extent that when Drupad Kumari was brought, Draupadi was brought, she was made to, she told them to distribute among themselves. So that is the authenticity with which she lived the life. Incidentally, few people may point fingers at her and say, without seeing who, without seeing if it is a person or a commodity or a good, she did like that. But still, she always wanted equality and to treat everybody equally. So friends, when Kunti could treat all the 5 people equally, can Kushal treat all the 5 presidents, vice presidents also equally? Can vice president treat their directors equally? Can you treat all your members equally? From now on at office also, can we treat everybody equally? At home, can we treat everybody equally? Right. This is what we have to learn from Kunti Devi, right? And then What she did was, at Varnavrat, I already shared this. She was so authentic that when the Pandavas were given a place, a remote near Varnavrat, which is a one means a forest. Near that forest, when a place was given to them, it was a barren land. When that place was given, they went and established Indraprastha. Then they invited their mother. See the authenticity of Kunti. Kunti, what does she say? She tells them, no, no, I'm not going to come with my children. I'm not going to go with you. I am going to stay back in this kingdom because my in-laws' place is my home place. This is my home place. So I will not move out to some other place just because you built a new house. And she stayed there only. She told her children, I will come and visit you people, but I will not move out of my house. Even though my husband is not here, my sons are not here, nobody is here really to take care of me. Still, this is my place. This is my dharma. That is the authenticity. So friends, if somebody is going and starting a new house, which means a new chapter, never go leave your mother chapter. Always stay in your mother-law. Even if somebody offers and says, we'll make you the president, you please come, last 2 years you could not be the president, you come there, we'll make you the president. Please don't leave your mother chapter. In fact, you wait and aspire to become the president here only. Never ever move out of the chapter. Moving out of the chapter is a sign of weakness, my dear friends. Learn being authentic to your home chapter or mother, like how Kunti Devi was. Okay. And when the Kavach and the Kundal were given away by Karna to Lord Indra, who disguised himself as Brahmin, then Karna was flowing with blood because he tore away everything and he gave away the Kavach Kundal and all. Okay. At that point of time, what Kunti as a mother, how authentic she does was, she calls Nakula, who is a physician, has the Ashwini Devata's blessings. So she takes him to Karna's camp and gets him treated, sees that her son is revived. By that time, nobody knows that he is her son. Still sees that she is revived, and she stays back in that camp only. Her children, Pandavas, they ask him, why are you staying in the enemy camp, mother? But still, she's so authentic and so confident that the enemies will not kill her, that she stays back with her son until he becomes better. He recovers. So that is the authenticity of Kunti. Kunti never, in the entire Mahabharata, such a pure soul, except for giving birth to Karna, which is there in that picture, which she did unknowingly, which she wanted to test the prayer, tested the prayer, Karna was born. But that was the only mistake that she did. Otherwise, she's an authentic person. What she says, she does. Okay. After war, you know what happened after war? Then they told, come on, the Pandavas told, come on, let us now, the Indraprastha, the Hastinapura, everything is ours. Come on, let us be the king. And Yudhishthir, he becomes the king and he asks Kunti to stay back. Kunti does not stay with them. Kunti says, my brother-in-law, that is Dhritarashtra and Gandhari are going to the forest for penance and to attain moksha. So I am also going with them, because staying with them is my dharma. Because I am not here for the kingdom. I am not here for my children. I am here as the Kuru clan. When the main people of the Kuru clan are walking away, my elders, I am going to be with them. And she goes away with them. That is the authenticity that she has. Friends, we have to learn these levels of authenticity. So be with your seniors always. This is what we learn. Be with your seniors, even though your juniors may be powerful, right? Somebody, your junior in your chapter may become the EVP or become somebody, but always be with the seniors of your chapter, right? This is what we can learn from Kunti. And here I have one promise, which I want all of you to make. Can I request you all to make a promise that you will stop using 2 words in your life? I will not use the words 2 words in your life. Can you type the letter P into the chat box? Can you type the letter P into the chat box? Yeah, thank you. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Only everybody, see, every time the same people are only typing. Why rest of the people are not interacting? So I request the other people also. Joseph sir is always typing. Where is Chandramouli, Varun Karnakar, Deepaji, Adir Nayak? Brijesh sir, Baburaj sir. Baburaj sir is active, is typing. Like Veena, Shiva Sannidhi, Nagireddy, Arun Prasad sir, Tava Srinivas, Srinath. Yeah, few people are typing. Okay. There are two words which you should not use in your life ever again, right? So thank you. And those two words now are, one is the word try and the other is the word but. Friends, try is a word which kills your authenticity. It kills your conviction. It kills your integrity, right? Try means if somebody asks you, will you do it? If you say, I'll try, I know that is not going to do it. You can either do or cannot do. A woman is either pregnant or not pregnant. She cannot be half pregnant, right? So there is no word try ever. And there is also no but, because but is only a very bad word to be used as in conversational, as conversational intelligence. Okay. If I say that on screen, I can see some on screen, whose video is on, I'll quote their name. Shiju is left somewhere. Joshi Joseph. Joshi Joseph sir is there. So I'm talking to Joshi Joseph and I tell him, yeah, you can mute yourself, sir. Thank you. So Joshi Joseph sir, what you say is correct, but what I'm saying, and I make some statements and I finally say I'm correct. So it is only to keep his mouth shut, to stop him from talking and arguing. I tell, what boss, excellent boss, whatever you say is excellent, but finally you make a statement and say whatever I say is excellent. Don't do this smartness. Don't use this smartness. It is a smartness of conversational intelligence. Don't do that. Be authentic, boss. If you like it, say I like it. If you don't like it, either keep quiet or say, sir, in my opinion, it is something else. That's all. Live this way. This is an authentic way of living life, right? You agree? Joshi sir, you agree with me?
Yes, 100%.
Right, sir. So will you stop using these two words in your life?
Yes.
Can you make a statement or saying I will not use these words? Can you make this statement orally?
I will not use the word try and but in my life.
Okay.
I'll say yes or no.
Yes, sir. Wonderful. Thank you. So is it possible to stop using these two words, Joshi sir?
I think it's possible because there is a so no, as I said. But earlier I used to try.
Now you said
word.
But again.
Yeah.
So again, I'll ask this,
used...
again I'll ask this question. Is it possible to stop using these two words, sir?
Yes, yes.
Right, good. That is the answer. Now that is the answer. Now you understand how you have to make a conversation, right? Or else if you keep keep talking more, then you will be forced to use the word but in this. Okay. There is no try and no but. Okay. Hardly uses try. Okay. So talk good. You know the power, and the next point is talking good. And the power of energy, which Einstein said, whatever you talk comes back to you. Friends, sometimes you sit and think for a long time and then you feel your energy is drained, right? Your energy gets drained. Why does your energy get drained? Because your energy got converted into thoughts. And energy does not die. This is what Einstein said, E is equal to mc square. It always converts, right, into some other form of energy. So when you talk something, it is this energy that is going out into this world. And if you talk good, good happens. If you talk bad about somebody, suppose I talk bad about Shiju and I say Shiju is something should happen to Shiju. If I say, and Shiju has more energy within him because he does not talk bad about anybody. On a scale of 10, his energy is 8. Whereas because I am talking bad, my energy is 5. Because my energy is not sufficient to penetrate into him, it has to bounce back, which means that whatever word I talk, it is going to hit me back. That is why it is said this is the law of karma, wherein karma means destiny, that whatever you do comes back to you. So always talk good. And Karna talks about Draupadi, he says she's a Vaishya. And that is why Lord Krishna tells him, because you are calling her a Vaishya, you have to die. That is something bad which you spoke. Drupad talks through Drona, and Drupad tells Drona, if you want, boss, you are not my friend. If you want, I am ready to give you as Dan. This is what he talks. And because that is what he talks, Dronacharya goes away in anger from that court. So You keep a check on how you're talking. Gandhari, she curses Krishna and she says, because you killed my 100 children, Krishna, you are going to die. Your Yadav clan is going to die. This is my sharp to you. That is what she says. And that is why Krishna and his clan has to die. So whatever you talk, be very careful, my dear friends. That is bound to happen. And about talking, always remember, in a cricket ground, I'm giving this example of cricket ground. In a cricket ground, there is audience, there are players. What do the players talk? What do the players talk? The players talk about in a cricket ground as to how to play cricket, how to win, how to bowl them out, and how to do the batting, how to score more runs, right? This is what they talk. What do the audience talk? The audience, they also talk and say, hey, he should be bowling like this, you should be fielding like this, he should not have gone front foot, he should be doing like this. Which talk decides the course of the match? Which talk decides, whose talk decides the course of the match? Players talk or audience talk? Can you type into the chat box, please? Whose talk decides the result of the match? Players talk or audience talk? Players talk, right? Correct. Players talk. So what about audience talk? Audience talk, does it decide the course of the match? No. So stop audience talk, which means that audience talk is a waste talk. So if somebody is playing the game of their life, don't sit in the audience, watch and say, hey, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. Don't do that. Now, in your chapter also, if your president is making some decisions, then as president, he should be doing like this. Don't do that. He's playing the game of president. You are only an audience to it. Understand? If your vice president is doing something, he should have done like this. Vice president business is doing. Are you vice president business? Then how can you talk about vice president business? You cannot talk, right? So don't do waste talk, my dear friends. I'm telling you, don't do waste talk. If you're doing audience talk, it is always a waste. He should be doing like this. I should be doing like this. No, he should be talking like this. He should have taken this decision. He should have done like this. All this is audience talk, waste talk. Don't do that, my dear friends. Okay? Because, my dear friends, understand, our word is our world. They either become a boon or a curse. Remember, our word is our world. Whatever I talk decides what I am. How can you understand something, some person, after talking to him for 5 minutes, basing on what he talks only, you understand, right? You and me understand. Yes or no? You agree with me? You can nod your head if you agree with me. Right? Basing on what they talk only, you are going to respond, right? And you are going to understand what they are, right? So our word is our world, my dear friends. So they either become, our word either becomes a boon. If you talk good, it will become a boon on you. If you talk something bad, it will become a curse on you. So that is what Krishna also says, and he always opposes talking. And then have a mentor. Next point. Always, my dear friends, have a mentor. Everybody had a mentor. Bhishma and Karna had a mentor like Parshuram. Duryodhan had a mentor like Shakuni, and Drona had a Drona, Drupad, both of them had a mentor like Bharatwaj, Guru Bharatwaj. Ashwadhama had a mentor like Drona. Arjuna had a mentor like Krishna, and even Krishna had a mentor like Sandeep. Right? That is what, and everybody had a mentor. But the difference is, that is what Lord Krishna says when Guru Drona has to die. He tells him, I was a mentor to my child, Ashwadhama. Then Lord Krishna says, what fellow? You only trained him in arts, martial arts, knowledge, etc. But you did not teach him how to live a happy life. That is why he is full of hatred and took the adharma side. You were never his mentor. You could only be his teacher, but not a mentor. That thereby he brings a difference between the teacher and a mentor. Friends, mentor is one whom we blindly believe. Teacher is one whom we take knowledge and get out of that situation. So you should always have a mentor in your business life, in your personal life, in your JC career, everywhere. If you don't have a mentor, then I'm telling you, you are a waste. Not you. Anybody who does not have a mentor can go aloof. What, even to go to some place, what do? We use GPS, right? We use GPS, global positioning system. Here also you should have a guru in your life. For every walk of life, you should have a guru. And he's also a GPS, guru positioning system. Without guru, you can't reach the final destination correctly. And if you are unable to find a proper guru, it is your incapability to find a guru. So from now on, search for the guru. And if you say you are unable to find a guru, it means that you have this ahankar, and you want to judge somebody and say, no, this fellow is fit to be my guru, this fellow is not fit to be my guru. You are in a judgmental state. So come out of that judgmental state and stop judging others, and believe in somebody, have a mentor, have a guru, and having a guru only brings success in your life, right? And dharma, and finally karma, right? And in karma, finally, what do we have to understand is, Arjuna, he followed Yuddha Dharma. Friends, karma means action. It is an action word, what you have to do, right? Yuddha Dharma for Arjuna was his karma, right? What he had to do? He had to fight the war. Draupadi also, I'll tell you about Draupadi. I'll go to the next. In Krishna, what did Krishna do? When Jayadratha was hiding, because he had a boon, and Arjuna was ready with Pashupatastra to kill Jayadratha on that day. And that day, after Abhimanyu's death, the next day, Arjuna takes a vow that if I don't kill Jayadratha tomorrow, then I am going to die. So he takes a vow. So thereby, what does, what do they do is, Kauravas, they hide Jayadratha somewhere. Then Krishna, what karma does he do? What action does he do? He uses his Sudarshan to hide the sun, and thereby everybody, Kauravas, think that the sun has gone, so that we can call off the war now for today. And Jayadratha comes out. When he comes out, sticks his head out, then immediately he removes the Sudarshan from the sun, and thereby the lighting is still there, and he tells Arjuna to kill that fellow. So here also, though Krishna says, I will not fight in the war, still he does not fight, but he helps. So helping others to fight is also your dharma. That is your karma. Karma means what you have to do. That is your. And Nagastra. And in Nagastra also, when Karna uses Nagastra, Nagastra is very powerful, right? When Karna uses Nagastra, this person, Arjuna, is unable to face it. He is almost dead. So at that time, what he does was, he presses the chariot with his thumb, and the chariot bends a little, and the Nagastra goes away. And Takshak snake is on that Nagastra. That is why Takshak can kill anybody, and that arrow goes in vain. So by pressing the thumb also, he does his dharma. So, and Drona dies because he expected something in return. So Lord Krishna tells him, you taught the children, no doubt, you taught the Kauravas and Pandavas, but you did not have Nishkama Karma. Nishkama Karma means not expecting anything in return. You did not have that. That is why you died. That is what Lord Krishna tells him. And then Yudhishthir at Mount Meru, when the entire world, all the war comes to an end, and Parikshit is made the king, and Yuyutsu is made the minister. Then all these, they go to Mount Meru, and then they want to ascend to the heaven. At that point of time also, Yudhishthir did not lie, followed his dharma, and there was a dog following his wife Draupadi dies, 4 brothers die. Then still he does not, the dog whichever was following, he still does not leave his dog. There the Indra comes there to pick him up, Lord Indra, and he says, leave the dog. He says, I will not leave because it followed me. It is my dharma to protect it. And then the dog changes into Lord Dharma. So meaning that he always followed his dharma, and dharma was his karma. Whatever he had to do, he always followed. And remember, friends, in the scene of Draupadi, everybody followed their own dharma, but they never followed the dharma for the betterment of the world. Dhritarashtra agreed to his son, he followed his dharma. Duryodhan removed his sari because she was a dasi. To remove the sari of dasi, nothing wrong. So that was also his personal dharma. Dushasan pulled by the hair. Brother's advice, brother's order, he followed his dharma. Karna also had to be with his friend. He also followed his dharma. Bhishma did not stop because of his Bhishma Pratigna. He followed his personal dharma. Friends, everybody followed their personal dharma. But adharma happened in Draupadi's court. only because in that Hastinapura and her sari was removed. Adharma happened because people were following personal dharma. Personal dharma is never, always you should think of a dharma which will benefit the world as such, not the personal dharma. So friends, if in a tree we can see that a person has emotions, he has dharma, he takes a decision out of experience, he takes a decision out of nyaya, he takes a decision out of intellect and says, I can pull this sari, it is nyaya. And Vidur gives a suggestion and says, I'm using an intellect and giving suggestion. Everybody is using all these, but everybody following the dharma did not follow one thing, that the roots of the tree is always karuna, empathy and love. So if you do not have love or empathy in your life, you are not following dharma. Only if you are going only sitting on only those branches of either emotions or saying dharma or experience or nyaya or intellect, still you cannot be successful in your life as long as whatever you talk does not contain empathy or love or karuna. Friends, when you talk something, it should always contain empathy. So 2 final tips before I come to the end of this session, my dear friends. One tip is always you would have a friend and enemy in your life. Always have gratitude to a friend and always excuse an enemy. Friends, these 2 we should follow. Anybody who is your friend, just thank them, right? And anybody who is your enemy, just pardon them. Khulla dil se, with open mind, tell them, I am excusing you. You cheated me, I'm excusing you. You took presidency away from me, I'm excusing you. You shouted me, I'm excusing you. You belittled me, you cheated me. You caused lots of loss to me. I'm still excusing you. If you are able to grow to that level, then you will certainly be a very successful person in your life. That is what Lord Krishna also says. He tells you to thank your friend and excuse an enemy. So 2 things: enemy, friend, enemy, excuse, friend, gratitude. Say thank you. This is what we should be following. With this, I want to make one promise to each person present on the screen. The promise is, I promise to all of you that I will be with you in anything and everything in your life at any point of time. To all the 50, 60 people or how many people present on the screen, to all of you, I'm making this promise. I promise each one of you that I will be with you in anything and everything at any point of time in the future. And I suppose you can also make a similar promise to everyone, right? So if I can request each one of you, to just unmute yourself and make this promise aloud, even in chorus also, no problem. Please make this promise and read it out of the screen.
I promise to you all that
I promise you that I will be with you
anything and everything at any time in the future.
in the future.
Anything and everything.
Right, fantastic, friends. And can you, those who are unable to unmute yourself, can you type into the chat box promise? Can you just type promise into the chat box? Yeah, please mute yourself again. Can you just type promise into the chat box now? Because this one is going to make you very powerful in your life, right? If you are able to adopt everybody into your life, then you will be able to adapt to any situation. 12, 13, 14, 15. Thank you, thank you, thank you. With this, I come to the end of this session, Kurukshetra. There is so much to learn from this, from Bhagavad Gita and from Mahabharata. So many things to learn. Few things which I could bring onto the screen today in the last 1.5 hours I brought before you. I think I have taken a little more time. Still, I guess that the host and the participants are okay with the overshooting of time. And thank you so much. Over to the chairman for any questions to be taken from the participants.
Yeah, thank you, Rahul sir. Meeting very conducive for the process ceremonies. Thank you for a wonderful session. Anyway, before that, any questions are there? Definitely we can ask in a few minutes. We can ask few questions or any feedbacks, reviews can be given. You are welcome. Everybody can unmute to themselves and give a feedback or questions can be asked.
So any questions to be asked? Or any challenges in your relationship you have? We can make suggestions out of the Mahabharata. Right. Seeing so, not seeing any question.
Santosh Kumari can have a raised hand. You can ask, madam. You can unmute and ask.
Santoshi Kumari, you can ask. Unmute.
Yes. Yes, sir. Sir, good evening, sir. Rahul, sir.
Yes, very good evening.
It's a wonderful session where nice way of interpretation and all that. Sir, I have a doubt for this, sir.
Yeah, go on.
You're like silly, but it is actually a practical doubt.
Yeah.
Like, throughout.
Santosh Kumari, you use the word but just now, having made the promise. It is
Okay,
very silly.
okay.
It is very silly, but that is what you are saying. So please ask your question.
Okay. I'll avoid it, sir.
So first, apologize for using that word. Because
Sorry, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry for using it.
Yeah, please go on.
No, actually, when we have, like, for example, we have a personal program on that day. Maybe on one day we have a personal program and all our guests and everybody has come, and we need to have maybe satisfy some kind of organizational deal also on the same day.
Okay.
So which one we need to prioritize?
So it is about prioritizing and time management. This does not directly relate to it. However, which at this point of time, Santoshi, which is the most important thing to me in my life at this moment right now?
At this moment?
Yes. Who is most important to me at this moment right now?
Yourself.
It is you. You are most important to me at this moment. After 5 minutes, maybe I'll be taking my friend's call. They are most important. So you will have to decide the situation basing on that very moment which is important. You cannot really decide in advance, right? If you are preoccupied with your personal commitments, then because you have taken the position of the president this year, you should be able to see that you execute it or it is executed through any of your colleagues or associates. You cannot shy away from that. At the same point of time, the biggest challenge is, I'll tell each one of you on the screen, the biggest challenge comes when you are unable to rope in or enroll your family members, right? Me and my wife, we both are the author couples of JC India, author couple of JC India, right? I brought my wife when initially she was having this doubt as what this organization is. Then I brought her into this organization, made her taste this organization. So each one of you, if you have a challenge at home, if they're saying what is this organization, you're going around JCI, then it is your responsibility and duty to see that they also love this organization by involving them into some activities or by involving them into some training programs. Only then pressure will not build from home.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Welcome. Anybody else? So we have anybody, you can just unmute yourself and ask if you have any question, or else the chairman will go forward. Shiju, you have something to ask?
Yes, sir. Rahul sir, it was an awesome session because I have experienced your mentorship through our other program, and I have a question to you. So how you acquire this type of knowledge? Because by age, I think you are less than 30, and you are